Good evening. Happy Friday. I pray you all are well and had a great day and a great week. My name is Dr. Katrina Esau. I am the creator and founder of Whole Wives Healing Openly, Leaving Him Exalted. And I created that ministry because of my own bout with infidelity in my marriage. My husband and I walked through that 17 years ago. So it is my mission in life to share my story with other wives to help them know that number one, they're not alone. And number two, that they can regain control and power of their lives and walk in that. So I just wanted to come on today to greet you all. Happy New Year, because I have not been on since the new year started. So I pray that your new year is off to a great start. I pray that you're walking in purpose. I pray that you have identified what you're going to do. You've made a decision and you are creating a path on how to get there to your end goal. Happy New Year. I'm glad to be here with you guys. When you're out there, as I always say hello, send up some hearts, let me know that you're there. And if you're watching the replay, welcome. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen. And I always ask you guys to just in the comments tag hashtag replay, just so that I know that you stopped by. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the reason why I came on today. Again, I'm not going to be before you long. I know I always say that, but really just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about triggers. And some of you may have seen a post that I shared earlier today with a picture of this little fella, this little unicorn. And so I often talk about in some of the coursework that I do with the triggers and making sure you know what your triggers are, and so that you can create a plan and a strategy to overcome those. And the thing about triggers is you need to identify them. It may be a scent, it can be a song, it can be a stuffed animal, it may be a location. If you've heard anything about my story, I've shared how every time I got to a particular intersection here where I'm located, it would set me back. It would trigger me because that's where I was when I learned that my husband had committed adultery. And so it took me some time to overcome that, but I had to come to the conclusion that yes, I had triggers. I had to identify them so that I can create a strategy to overcome them. So I encourage you to take the time to examine what are your triggers, what sets you off, what causes you to go back into that place of hurt, to that place of pain, what causes you to regurgitate all of the hurt that you went through in your marriage as it pertains to infidelity. Again, my call, my anointing is for the wives that have endured it and that have chosen to stay and to work out their marriage. So I'm here today to encourage you. So today, I'm just going to share this. This is why I'm on here. My husband was out, checking the accounts and working. And he sent me a picture, the picture actually that I posted of this little fella here. And so immediately I thought about and I started to laugh and I told him, I said, now, you know how I feel about these stuffed animals, because there was a point in our relationship when we were going through 17 years ago that had to do with a stuffed animal that I did buy. And so we were laughing about it today. And he was like, honey, you are good, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just giving you, a hard time because I acknowledge my stuff. And another reason why I wanted to share with you all today is because some of you that I talk to is like, how long am I going to have to deal with it? It's been 2 years. It's been a year. It's been 3 years. It's been whatever the time frame. And it's like this thing happened and then it still bothers me. It still sets me back. That's the trigger. And so just being aware of what that is and knowing that it doesn't matter the time span. Like I said, my husband and I walked through this 17 years ago, and we are in a much better place today. Thank God for healing and restoration and true forgiveness. But I want you all to know that you will always have to be aware of your triggers, and prayerfully you'll get to a point to where you've overcome the pain that's associated with them. So what we did today, laugh and joke about it, I couldn't do that, say, 15 years ago. I couldn't do that even 12 years ago. And so we were talking about it. And what really blessed my life is because even after we got off the phone, the place he got the unicorn for me, it's one of our long-standing accounts, and he went back. He literally was on his way home, which was probably like 20-25 minutes from this location, from where he had gotten to. And he turned around, went back, had the lady call me and explained that, yes, she was the one that told him, that gave him the unicorn to give to me. And I just laughed because I'm like, oh my gosh, you did not go back. I'm like, that lady gonna probably like, what in the world going on in y'all household? But it blessed me because there was a time 17 years ago when I confronted, the whole stuff teddy bear situation. It was a different conversation. It was denial. It was, how I'm blowing things out of proportion. You don't trust me. It was all of these things. And so when we go through that, we're made to feel a certain way. And so it just blessed my life today that he would, number one, take the extra step, even though we talked about it, laughed about it, but he went a step further just to make sure that I was okay, just to make sure that, honey, you good? And I'm like, yeah, and so it blessed my life for him to do that. And I wanted to share that with you all. It's a vulnerable moment because even though my husband and our marriage has been restored, we just celebrated our 25th year anniversary, which I give God all the glory and praise for that, because that is nothing but a blessing, and so, but it took time. It took a process. We had to go through our heels. We had to go through our valley experiences. And, we're in a much better place. We love each other. We can share, immediately talk about stuff and not just harbor it and press it down and negate the thoughts or the feelings that we have. Even if it's something trivial or you're at that place to where you can joke about it, you still should be comfortable even having the conversation. So that just blessed me today. And I wanted to come on and share it with you guys because it's a vulnerable moment, because people see me where I am now with coaching other wives and helping them walk through. And they think they'll never get there. They don't understand a lot of times the fullness of my story. And like I tell people, yeah, I'm 17 years from when my husband and I separated because of the infidelity. But every day I have to be aware. Every day I have to be conscious to make sure, that we're doing the same things that I'm teaching you guys, that we're forgiving where we need to. We're having boundaries, that we have open discussions, we have communication, we know who we are, we know our identity. And so just as much as I do it and I teach you guys to do it, I still do it. I still do it because I want to keep the sacredness of my marriage. I want to keep the sanctity of my marriage. I want to make sure that every door, every window, every crack, every crevice is closed and there is no room, no entry point for the enemy to come in that area. And so it's very important that you recognize your triggers and that you are comfortable talking about them, because once you know what they are, you can create a strategy to overcome them. And that's some of the things that I teach the wives in the academy, is not just to identify the trigger, but then we're going to overcome it. And you can't overcome what you don't identify and what you don't acknowledge. So that's what I wanted to come on to you to tell you guys today. Just know that you're not alone. There is hope. There is, the possibility of restoration and healing, but you have to have God in the midst of it. You have to be aware. You can't deny that there is an issue. You can't say that, oh, I'm well, knowing that you're not. And so just be honest and truthful with yourself. And again, know what your triggers are, and then create a strategy to overcome that. And if you need assistance doing that, you can reach out to me. You can go to my website, learn more about me, www.drkatrinaesau.com. And actually, I put in the comments, I put a link to the website where you all can get a free download of a video on trust, on rebuilding trust. That's another area where I'm often asked, how did you rebuild trust? How did you do that? Will you ever trust again? Yes, you can. You can trust again. You can forgive. You can have real joy. You can have a real smile, not something that's painted on. You don't have to be fake, phony. You don't have to walk in shame. You don't have to walk in guilt. But all of that's going to come with time. It's going to come with you being honest with yourself. It's going to come with you confronting and having some real hard conversations and getting the help that you need, having accountability, having a safe community to be vulnerable and to share these things. And so it's important that you have a network, to encourage you so that you can run this race and run to the end and see what it's going to be. There is definitely, healing for you. As I always say, I'm not here to tell you whether to stay or to leave in your marriage, but I do believe that you need to be whole, whether you stay or whether you leave. And that's my goal, is to help you get to that place to where you are healed, where you're walking in your power, where you are, strong and know who you are and whose you are, and where you're not walking around bitter and angry and resentful and full of shame and guilt. You can come out on the other side. And I am a living witness to that. So thank you for your time. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I'm Dr. Katrina Esau, the creator and founder of Whole Wives Healing Openly, Leaving Him Exalted. And I wish you a very great evening and a very great weekend. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, guys.